Right now, cooking feels normal. You wake up, eat breakfast, you boil rice, you fry eggs, you roast chicken, you heat food in a pan, oven, or microwave. To us, cooking is just part of life. But imagine a world before cooking. No pots, no kitchens, no stoves, no recipes, no restaurants, no tea, no soup, no barbecue, just raw food, raw meat, raw roots, raw plants, hard nuts, tough tubers, and whatever could be found, hunted, or collected from nature. For most animals, this is normal. A lion does not cook meat, a monkey does not boil fruit, a deer does not roast plants. But humans are different. At some point in the deep past, one of our ancestors looked at fire, looked at food, and something changed forever. That moment may be one of the most important turning points in human history. Because cooking did not just change food. Cooking may have changed our bodies, our brains, our families, our social life, and maybe even the direction of human evolution itself. So today, let's ask a simple question. Why did ancient humans begin cooking? To understand this, we need to travel far back in time. Not 500 years, not 5,000 years, not even 50,000 years. We need to go back hundreds of thousands of years, maybe even more than 1 million years. Before modern cities, before farming, before writing, before kings, before money, before religion as we know it, before Homo sapiens became the only human species left on Earth. There were early humans and human ancestors moving through forests, grasslands, riversides, and open plains. They did not have supermarkets. Every calorie had to be earned. They had to search for fruit, dig for roots, collect seeds, crack nuts, hunt animals, scavenge meat, and avoid becoming food themselves. Life was not easy, and food was not always safe. Raw meat could carry parasites and disease. Raw plants could be hard to chew. Some roots and tubers were tough, bitter, or difficult to digest. Even when food was available, the body could not always extract all the energy from it. This is very important. Because eating food is not the same as absorbing food. You can put food into your mouth, chew it, swallow it, and still not get all the calories from it. Raw food often takes more work to chew, more work to digest, and sometimes the body gets less energy from it. For early humans, that was a big problem, because energy was everything. Energy helped them walk, hunt, think, survive cold nights, carry babies, escape predators, and live long enough to reproduce. So anything that gave early humans more energy from the same food would be extremely powerful, and that is where cooking enters the story. Cooking breaks food down before it enters the body. When meat is heated, it becomes softer. When roots and tubers are roasted, they become easier to chew. When tough plant fibers are heated, they can become easier to digest. When food is cooked, the body can often absorb more calories from it. In simple words, cooking is like doing part of digestion outside the body. The fire starts the work before the stomach does. This may sound small, but it could have been massive for evolution. Imagine two early humans eating the same amount of food. One eats everything raw. The other eats food cooked by fire. The cooked food is softer, it is safer, it takes less chewing, it gives more usable energy. Over days, weeks, and years, that extra energy matters. It could mean stronger bodies, better survival, more successful children, more time for social life, more time for learning, and maybe more energy for the brain. Because the human brain is expensive. Even today, our brain uses a huge amount of the body's energy. A bigger brain is useful, but it is also costly. It needs calories, a lot of calories. So one major idea in human evolution is this. Cooking gave early humans access to more energy, and that energy may have helped support the growth of larger brains. This does not mean an ancient human woke up one day and said, "I will cook food so my brain becomes bigger." Of course not. They did not understand calories. They did not understand evolution. They did not understand nutrition science. They probably discovered cooking slowly by accident, curiosity, and repeated experience. Maybe an animal died near a natural fire. Maybe roots were left near hot ashes. Maybe someone tasted burned meat and realized it was easier to chew. Maybe someone noticed that roasted food caused less sickness. The discovery may have started as a simple accident, but the consequences were enormous. One of the most important names in this story is Homo erectus. Homo erectus was an early human ancestor. They appeared long before modern humans. They had bodies more similar to ours than earlier apes. They walked long distances. They used tools. They hunted and scavenged. And they spread across different parts of the world. Some scientists think cooking may have begun around the time of Homo erectus. Why? Because around 1 to 2 million years ago, early humans began showing important changes. Their bodies became taller. Their brains became larger. Their digestive systems may have become smaller compared to earlier ancestors. That combination is interesting. A large brain needs more energy, but a smaller digestive system suggests the body may not have needed to process as much tough raw food. So scientists ask, how did early humans get enough energy for bigger brains if their digestive system was becoming smaller? One possible answer is cooking. Cooked food gives more energy with less digestive effort. So cooking may have helped humans move away from spending huge amounts of time chewing and digesting raw food. This is one reason some anthropologists believe cooking may have started very early, maybe as far back as 2 million years ago. But there is a problem. Fire does not preserve well. Ash disappears. Burned plants decay. Old campsites get destroyed. Rain, wind, soil movement, and time erase evidence. So proving exactly when cooking began is very difficult. Scientists can study tools, they can study bones, they can study teeth, they can study burned stones and ancient hearths. But a simple cooking fire from 1 million years ago is not easy to find. That is why the beginning of cooking is still debated. For a long time, the earliest strong evidence of cooking was much more recent. Some evidence showed humans and Neanderthals using fire to cook vegetables and meat around 170,000 years ago, but newer research pushed the story much further back. One major site is Gesher Benot Yaakov in Israel. At this site, researchers found evidence suggesting that early humans may have cooked fish around 780,000 years ago. That is huge, because 780,000 years ago is long before Homo sapiens dominated the planet. It suggests that controlled cooking may not have started with modern humans. It may have started with earlier human ancestors. Think about that. Before modern language as we know it, before villages, before clothing as we imagine it, before farming by hundreds of thousands of years. There may have been early humans using fire to cook fish. This changes how we imagine ancient life. We often think of early humans as barely surviving, but cooking fish means planning, fire control, knowledge of food, repeated behavior, maybe even shared meals. It suggests that ancient humans were not just reacting to nature, they were learning how to transform nature. Raw fish became cooked fish, dangerous food became safer food, tough food became softer food, low-energy food became more useful food. That is a powerful step. But why cook at all? Let's break it down. First, cooking made food easier to chew. Raw meat can be tough. Raw roots can be hard. Raw plants can take a lot of time to break down. If you have ever tried chewing very tough meat, you understand this. Now imagine doing that every day without knives, plates, or modern cooking. Cooking softens food. That means less chewing time. And less chewing time means more time for other things. Second, cooking made food easier to digest. The body does not need to work as hard to break down cooked food. This means early humans could get more usable calories. For a hungry animal, calories are survival. Third, cooking made food safer. Heat kills many pathogens, parasites, and harmful organisms. Raw meat can be dangerous. Cooked meat is usually safer. For ancient humans, this could mean fewer illnesses and better survival. Fourth, cooking expanded the menu. Some foods are not very useful when raw, but when roasted, boiled, or heated, they become edible. Tubers, roots, and tough plants become more valuable after cooking. This means early humans could survive in more environments. They were not limited to only the easiest raw foods. Fifth, cooking brought people together. Fire is not just a tool, fire is a place. A campfire creates warmth, light, protection, and a center for the group. People can gather around it, share food, watch each other, tell stories, teach children, build trust. Cooking may have helped create stronger social bonds. In this way, cooking was not only biological, it was also social. Food became something shared, and shared food may have helped early humans become more cooperative. Now imagine the first cooking scenes. Not a kitchen, no chef, no recipe, just a small group of early humans near a fire. Maybe the fire came from lightning. Maybe they learned to keep embers alive. Maybe later they learned to create fire themselves. At first, fire may have been scary. It burns, it moves, it destroys. But it also gives warmth. It keeps animals away. It lights the dark. And it changes food. Someone places meat near the flames. The outside turns brown. The smell changes. Everyone notices. The smell of cooked meat is powerful. It travels. It signals energy. Someone tastes it. It is softer. It is easier to chew. It tastes better. Another person tries roasted roots from the ashes. They are sweeter, softer, more filling. Slowly, fire becomes more than danger. Fire becomes a tool. Then fire becomes a gathering place. Then fire becomes part of human life. This is one of the greatest changes in our history, because before cooking, humans had to adapt to food. After cooking, humans began adapting food to themselves. That is a massive difference. But here is the surprising part. Even after early humans learned to cook, cooking technology did not change very quickly. For hundreds of thousands of years, the basic method may have been very simple: fire, hot stones, roasting, ashes, direct heat. That is it. This is surprising because ancient humans were improving other tools. They made hunting tools. They shaped stones. They created spears. They developed better ways to cut and process animals. Later, humans also created symbolic objects and cave art. But cooking methods may have stayed simple for a very long time. Why? Maybe simple roasting was enough. Maybe early humans did not need complex cooking tools yet. Maybe most evidence disappeared. Or maybe cooking technology developed slowly because humans were still highly mobile. If you are constantly moving, you do not want heavy equipment. You use fire, stones, sticks, leaves, and the ground. Simple tools are easier to carry. And for ancient life, simple often means smart. A hot stone can cook food. Ashes can roast roots. A fire can soften meat. Leaves can wrap food. The earth itself can become an oven, and eventually, humans discovered exactly that. Around 30,000 years ago, something new appeared in parts of Central Europe. Earth ovens. These were not ovens like today. No metal door, no temperature dial, no gas flame. An earth oven was a pit dug into the ground. The pit was lined with stones. Then hot coals and ashes were placed inside to heat the stones. Food was placed on top, probably wrapped in leaves or covered in some natural material. Then everything was covered with earth, and the food was left to cook slowly, for hours, maybe even longer. This was a big improvement, because slow cooking changes meat in a special way. Some animal meat is very tough, especially meat from shoulders and hind legs. Those parts of the body are used for movement, so they contain more connective tissue. That connective tissue contains collagen. When meat cooks slowly for a long time, collagen breaks down into gelatin. This makes the meat softer, juicier, easier to chew, easier to digest, and much more flavorful. This is why slow barbecue tastes different from quickly burned meat. Ancient earth ovens were like an early version of slow cooking, and bones of many animals, including large animals like mammoths, have been found around ancient earth oven sites. This tells us something important. Humans were not just throwing meat into fire anymore. They were thinking about heat, time, stones, covering, roasting, and tenderness. Cooking was becoming more advanced. 1300. So why did ancient humans begin cooking? The answer is not one single reason. It was probably many reasons at once. Cooked food tasted better. It was easier to chew. It was easier to digest. It gave more energy. It killed dangerous pathogens. It made more foods edible. It helped humans survive in different places. It brought people together around fire. And over time, it may have helped shape the human body itself. Cooking may have supported larger brains. It may have allowed smaller digestive tracts. It may have reduced the time humans spent chewing. It may have helped create stronger social groups. In a way, cooking is one of the first technologies that made us human. Before writing, we had cooking. Before farming, we had cooking. Before cities, we had cooking. Before money, kings, jobs, and